to go live. Okay, Shivani's there. Let's do the Mangalacharan. अज्ञानतिमिरदस्य ज्ञानजनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुन् श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवंश्च। हे रूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा ललिता विभं साधुवेतं सवादूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं राधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखावितं च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोस्तुते। तप्त कंच गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So good to have you all. And before we resume back, let's have some chanting. Hari, would you like to do it? Yeah? All right, go on.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Jai, would you like to do Hare Krishna Mahamantra as well, please? I've just noticed we go Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Jai. Thank you. I'm just going to, right, there was a bit of feedback, so thank you so very much. And I've just noticed Krishna Chaitanya is there. Krishna Chaitanya, if you are there, and if you like to do Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Okay, maybe Krishna Chaitanya is silent. Krishna Chaitanya is thinking. All right, when he will be back, then we will do Mahamantra for Krishna Chaitanya and for his younger brother Govinda. Haribol. So thank you so much for your presence. Let's resume back where we left. And
Can you hear me?
Hare Krishna. Yes, I can hear you. Yes, please, Krishna Chaitanya. Would you like to do Hare Krishna Mahamantra for us?
Yes, please.
Please.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Thank you, Aryan. Thank you, Jai, and thank you, Krishna Chaitanya. So nice to have a little kirtan from great devotees. Hare Krishna. I hope everyone remember where we were in the discovery of self journey and what we have been doing recently. And this is what we did last time, Kala. So we said there are 5 topics in Bhagavad Gita, and one of them is Kala, the time. And this is what we've been discussing in this series. So the series itself says discovery of self. So the self-discovery, the journey of self-discovery or discover yourself, based on the book written by Srila Prabhupada ji. And then this is the second last, where we are doing purpose of creation, why the creation was done by Krishna. So Krishna said, I am time. Kalo asmi. Kalo asmi. Kalo, Kala is a time, and asmi is me. I am time. This is what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. And then a lot of things which we discussed last time, maybe briefly, I guess. It says the most powerful force in the material world is, and this is what we discussed, that doesn't really matter how much powerful. And a lot of demons, like if you remember Prahlad Maharaj, his father, Hiranyakashipu, he was so brave, and he did such a great tapasya that Brahmaji had to come out. And Brahmaji gave him boon, whatever he asked for. But one thing which Brahmaji could not give, because he asked for it, that make me immortal, that I will never die. Brahmaji said, even I'm going to die, so how can I give you that? So he asked for a lot of things. But still, at the end, he had to die. Why? Because of the time. When his time was up, he had to go. And Alexander the Great recently, compared to Hiranyakashipu thousands of years back, many yugas back, Alexander the Great was very recent. And if you think about him, he'd said the same thing, that he tried wherever he went, he was successful. But when his time came, he went. And when he went, he was going down. He said, when you will bury me, keep my hands outside. Why? So people could see that I'm dying. I've conquered so much, but I'm not taking anything with me. I'm going empty-handed. Right. So whenever the time will come, we have to go. And another example is, if you see, we have Napoleon, we have Hitler. These are great fighters of their time. But when their time came, they had to go. Right. So it says time causes the transformation in Prakriti. Prakriti is the material nature. We might have heard, well, we must have heard of dinosaurs, right? Dinosaurs, it says, the biggest, tallest, strongest animal walked on the planet. But where are dinosaurs now? Gone. Why? Because because of the time, the transformation happened in material world. If we remember that, what we can learn, that we have false ego. We think, oh, this is mine. So tonight, the Euro Cup is happening, and one of the team is going to win, and they will say, yay, because of our efforts, we won. But what will happen to the later with time, right? At some point, we're going to go down. But the thing is, because of false ego, we become egoistic, which means we start taking proud in everything we achieve. But if you think of that Napoleon, Hitler, Hiranyakashipu, such great guys, in a sense that how powerful they were, if they could not stay the time, dinosaurs, if they had to disappear, it doesn't really matter how much we will achieve materially in this world, we will not stand. At some point, we will have to leave it all. Like what Alexander the Great said, that, oh, wise people, look at my empty hands and understand. Doesn't really matter materially how much you will conquer, how many things, many states, many countries you will acquire, win over. You're not going to take a single thing with you. And there's a great pastime, a story with it. It says there was a guy, and he said, the king went to the wise guy, a sage, and he said that, oh, I got so much wealth, I want to take the wealth with me. I want to take all the wealth with me. Do something. And the sage said that this is a king. The kings are supposed to be wise. But he said, well, it will be very hard if I will make him. If he didn't understand so far, how will he understand? If I will just tell him that you can't take anything with you. Can you take anything with you when you die? Nah. But the king said, no, I want to. So the sage said, how about this? I will give you everything, but there's one problem. He said, what? He said, when you will take everything, you have to have a big sack with you, like a big bag. He said, okay, I'm the king. I can make the biggest sack, biggest bag in the world, and I will put everything in it. He said, yeah, but what will happen that on the way, because there you will have to drag it. Nobody else is going to come with you. You will have to take it with yourself. You will not able to lift it. You have to drag that big and massive bag. And then that massive bag is going to get ruptured. You say, oh, then what? He said, I got a plan. Do one thing, that you can take a needle, and I'm looking for it. Shivani had it here. Another thread with you, needle and thread. And whenever a big patch will happen, you can sew it. And the king got, that's a great idea. And then king said, so how am I going to take needle and thread with me? He said, simple. Keep it with you. Keep it in your hand when you will die. And he thought about it. That's a good plan. I will keep it. So wherever the king used to go, he used to keep with him a needle and a thread, because he never know when he's going to die. So one day he fell asleep, and then he noticed that that needle and that thread fell off from his hand. And then he woke up and he was surprised. It's gone. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? He could not find. And he went to the sage and he said, Sage, I don't understand it. When I fell asleep, I lost it. It just fell over. And because it was such a minute thing, I could not find it. And now I'm starting having doubts that I might not be able to take this with me. Then Sage said, now you have reached to the realization where I can tell you the truth. And the truth is that if you can't even take that needle and thread with you, and you can't even keep that in this material world with you all the time, then how are you going to take when this body is gone? Because that thread and needle, and along with that thread and needle, everything you possess in this material world is material. So you can't take it with you. And then the way we say, penny dropped, which means the king understood that we can't take anything. A lot of us, when we earn, when we try to put our house together, when we try to buy things, we get so attached to things that we think that we are not going to leave this. Or these things or these people are not going to leave us. But the fact is, either we are going to leave these things and people, or these things and these people are going to leave us. Sooner or later. Could happen now, could happen in 100 years. But sooner or later, either we're going to leave these things and people, or they're going to leave us. The time is the only. We say it's only the matter of time. Sooner or later, but it's going to happen. Because the cycle of universe is going on. And I hope we remember there are 6 transformations we did mention before. This 6 transformation, if we stay healthy, still these 6 transformation going to happen to us. And right at the end, because the first one is birth, the right at the end, the death going to happen. Obviously, we're going to get diseases, we're going to get, and it's not that we even if we keep ourselves healthy, some people say, oh, I'm going to keep myself healthy. Well, even if we keep ourselves healthy, it's still, we are going to go sick. We are going to, because this is material body is going to go down. We can't really save it. So we have to think these 6 transformations will happen. Now, what's the significance? Significance is if we understand that one day we are going to die, we understand what are the things we need to work on. Is it playing Xbox going to help us? Watching movies going to help us? Or maybe listening, hearing, Shanam, Kirtanam, doing all the 9 processes of devotional service going to help us, because Krishna has said it that any progress on this spiritual path doesn't diminish. So if we do 20% bhakti, devotional service here, next birth we will start from 21st. And if we do 40 here, 41 here, next birth we will start 42. So the spiritual activities we do, that's the only thing going to stay with us. Otherwise, we have seen, based on Kala, Kalyug is where we are at the moment, and it's going to go for 432,000. And currently we are only 5,000. So if you think about it, 432,000 years of Kalyug and only 5,000 of Kalyug done. Which means such a long time. Now, if we will not go back to spiritual world, if we will not think of a spiritual world while we are going back, while we are leaving the body, then we will keep coming back and we have to suffer, and Kalyug will only go bad and bad and bad until unless we are in the association of devotees. How bad? Very bad. The description is horrifying. If we read the description, what kind of things going to happen in future in Kalyug. But we have seen Kalyug is big, but Dwapar Yuga was even double of Kalyug, and Treta was even triple of Kalyug, and Satyug was even 4 times of Kalyug. So double Dwapar, triple Treta, 4 times Satyug. And when you put all these 4 yugas together, that's what we call one Divya Yuga. And when we have 71 of those Divya Yugas, then we call it one Manvanta. And there is one Manu, a leader there. Manu, for one Manvanta. And when we have 14 of those Manvanta, then we have 1 day of Brahma, which is 12 hours. And similarly, we have 1 night of Brahma, right? Similarly, night, 12 hours. So if we put all these together, that comes to 1,000 yugas. 1,000 yugas. We are only talking about 1 yuga. Right? Amazing. Lord Brahma's life is 313 trillion years. And that's why we say Lord Brahma's life, compared to his life, our life is nothing. Like compared to our life, the life of a mosquito is nothing. Sometimes 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. If a day will pass for the mosquito, it's a big thing. And if we can see the dogs, the cats, they don't live long. 2 years, 5 years. Hardly we say 10 years. 10 years is very old. However, when we see a 10 years old human child, we say, oh, he's or she's young. Oh, he's only 10 years old, 10 years young. Right? But for animals, it's very, and for insects, it's even more. So this is, if we remember that, again, we realize how insignificant we are and what should be our priorities. If you think about it, that a mosquito is there, and mosquito is buzzing around something bad, like on the dirt. And then what we will be thinking, why this mosquito is wasting the time on that? Because very soon the mosquito is going to die. But mosquitoes think mosquito is going to live for long. And similarly, people think, oh, they're going to live long. If you ask, like what Prahlad Maharaj said, what did Prahlad Maharaj said to his friends? That, come on, let's take the name of Lord Hari. And the friends said, well, we are young. Our parents said we will do all this when we will grow old. Prahlad Maharaj said at the age of 5, imagine, at the age of 5, some of you are much older than that. He said, well, what if you will not grow old? Nobody knows when we are going to die. Nobody knows how old our life is. What are we going to do then? And this is the beauty. We prioritize our life. We understand we need to spend time in Krishna consciousness. And what are the benefits? Benefits are huge, because then we are going to develop the qualities. We are going to develop the qualities of devotees. Now it says, and there's another, so there are 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan: Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswamis, Jiva Goswamis. They are the 3 prominent ones. And Rupa Goswami ji put together a Shastra. In English, we call it Nectar of Devotion. And in that, he gave 64 elements of bhakti, which we should do. So this is what we need to prioritize. And then in Nectar of Devotion, he also gives 9 different external qualities of a bhakt. And then one is tolerance, and one is not to waste time. So whoever is a devotee will never waste time. Why? Because the devotee knows that we don't know when we're going to die. So we'll always spend time in Krishna consciousness, always thinking about Krishna, always talking about Krishna, always listening about Krishna, doing something about Krishna, because Krishna is a spiritual, and a spiritual will never go. Thinking about anything else will be waste of time. But obviously that doesn't mean that we will not take care of the body, because we need body. If the body is not there, where is the soul going to stay? So it's a very nice balance we have it. What we say, middle path, and we should always remember that, right? Bakala is the time factor. That's what we're saying here. We have seen this before. And if you go from the bottom, Kalyug on the right hand side, let me get my pen. Kalyug, Dwapar, Treta, Satyug. And in between we have Sandhya. Sandhya is the transformation period. And then that little becomes, well, on the in between I said life of Brahma, maybe there was no need for it. But if you see, that's one. So this is what we call Divya Yug. That's one Divya Yug. So we're going to have 71 of those Divya Yugs, and that will become one Manvanta. And then 14 of those Manvantas will make one single day, right? And that's then there are 100 years Brahma lives. So if you think about it, at the scale of that, think where we are. Like even if we put a dot, like the dot we see here, that dot is bigger than our life. So if I do that, so if you see that dot there, right? That dot could be 100 years on this. But that could be actually even bigger if you just put one dot on this line. Yeah. Now see, that dot compared to the whole line is what? So our life compared to the life of Brahma is what? Insignificant. Which means we'll not even realize how big it is. So we should be very careful what we do. And that says, what we do is the karma. Now, what do we want to be? Do we want to enjoy or suffer the results of our work? Whatever karma we do, the time period we have, what do we want to do? Imagine if we have the exam tomorrow, and today we are just playing. We are going out playing cricket, playing football, playing Xbox, on video games or something. The exam is there. We need to prepare for the exam. So this is why it says, are you enjoying or are you suffering? When we are actually enjoying now, we are preparing to suffer in the future. Isn't that right? If the exam is there tomorrow, and if we are not studying today, we know we are not going to do well in the exam, and after the exam we are going to suffer. Because every action has its resultant reaction. This is what science also says. This is Newton's law. So we should be very careful. What do? Always say, if you want mangoes, but if you put the seeds of lemons, mangoes will not come out, lemon will come out. If you need mangoes, you can't really, once the plant is big, the tree is big, and the fruits are coming, you cannot pray, oh, come on, mango, lemon tree, give me mangoes. No, you got to be careful at the time of sowing the seeds. Yeah. And this is why it says, as you sow, so shall you reap. Right? It's very important. Now, some of the kids, we fight, and I consider myself as a kid as well. Yeah. Or consider the adults also in it, because we all are same. We fight, we jealous, we become envy, right? We are so greedy on many things. A lot of time, kids, they want lots of things from others. Why? Can't we just share? Because we know the life is short. We know if we are going to sow wrong seed, the wrong fruit will come out. Right? At the time, judge will give the, it says award, but judge will give the judgment. If we cannot say then, oh, whatever I did was wrong, I have to, judge will punish us. Right? It's nothing else. We don't have a choice then. It says rigorous imprisonment to one, $1 million to another. It's like we will never ever able to do. Why is this judge giving different judgments? So to one, judge said, oh, he's going to hang him till death. And to other, judge will say, okay, give in compensation £1 million to them. Why? Judge is not partial with anyone. Judge is giving the results of the actions. So similarly, if something wrong is happening with us, think, have we done? A lot of time these days people go very impatient. Don't we get, oh, life is not fair. Oh, tell you what, life is always fair. Because we think. Another story we did it in the past. There was a teacher, and teacher said, oh, I'm growing old. I'm gonna leave this place and the whole temple. I'm going to give it to someone. And he had 10 of his students. He said, oh, I will give my daughter and my temple to one of you, and I will go leave the place. But I don't know which one of you is responsible, which one of you is clever, smart. So how about this? I got 10 mangoes here, and I will give you each one. Go eat this mango when no one is watching. Come back and report to me. Someone went on the tree, someone went into the car, behind the bush, and they ate and they came back. And everybody told, oh, I've eaten there. Oh, look, it's finished. I've eaten there. One of them said, I could not eat it. He said, why not? Didn't you find a place where nobody could see? He said, no, I could not find a place where nobody could see. Because Krishna is watching everywhere. In the daytime, sun is watching. In the night, moon is watching. The super soul sitting in my heart is watching. And the teacher said, you are my student who have understood the essence of my teaching. So I'm going to give my daughter and this temple to you. So we think a lot of time kids, they just lie, thinking no one is watching. Mother will say, don't eat this, don't do that. But we do. We hide things and we do, thinking no one is watching. But remember, Krishna is always watching. So we should never ever do bad thing or never ever lie. Never ever, especially to parents. Parents know about it anyways. Right? But when we lie, it's so bad. So Krishna knows about it. But Krishna gives us the opportunity to make us right, make us righteous, so we do the good things. So remember, the judge is not partial. Krishna is not partial. It's us. We got to think. If you do good things, good will happen. If you do bad things, bad will happen. If you sow the seeds of lemon, lemon will come out. You don't even have to pray for it. Right? And that's why devotees, they don't worry about the fruits, because they know what they have been sowing and what they are going to reap. So no, judge is not partial, because based on the activities of individuals, the judge gives different judgments. And it's according to law, right? It's according to law. And this is one of those things which we should always understand. So there are natural laws. So obviously, if you are in England, you have England, UK law. If you go to Dubai, you have Dubai law. In India, Indian law. In US American law. So wherever we go, we have the laws. These are material laws made by people. We cannot say going to one place, oh, this place is this, that place is that. No, we cannot. Wherever we are, we have to follow those rules. In material world, we have to follow material rules, but in spiritual world, we have to follow spiritual rules. Similar thing for the currency. Yeah, currency is what? We cannot say, okay, in UK we want to buy things in dollars. If you take dollars in Morrison's or in Mark and Spencer, you cannot use dollars there. You have to get converted to the currency of the country. Similarly, all these things we gather, right? How many toys we have, how many books we have, how many things we gather. We are not going to take anything from them, but the knowledge we gain from that, is that knowledge material or spiritual? Is that knowledge about the body or the soul? Is that knowledge the currency of spiritual world or material world? If it's for the material world, it's only going to be used in material world. If it is for spiritual world, then we can take with us. And this is what we're talking about. It says, the Lord is seated in our heart as Paramatma to witness our activities. So Krishna is there in everyone. This is the verse we saw. This is from Bhagavatam 3:3:1, which is Canto 3, Chapter 3, verse 1. Under the supervision of Super Soul, Paramatma, and according to the results, think about it, and according to the result of his work, the living entity, which is us, the soul, who are we? We are the soul, is given a particular type of body. What does that mean? When we are going to die, what kind of activities we have done, based on that we will get the next birth. If our activities are like animals, and we can think of what animals do, hardly we will see animals share things. Have you seen animals just grab and run away? Have you seen pigeons? When pigeons come, if you offer them the seeds they eat, they will just try to grab, take it, maybe share with the family members, but not with each other. So what will happen if we live life like that without sharing with others? When we die, we will become one of them, because that's the consciousness we have. Yeah? And that's why it says, based on the karma, based on the activities. So our activities should purify. And what kind of activities we do? The kind of consciousness we have. Isn't it true? So if my thinking is, I'm going to work hard and earn money and give that money to Krishna, maybe in the form of charity, or maybe I will give my time to Krishna, or somebody will say, oh, I will just rob the bank, steal the household, get the money and enjoy. So this is the consciousness of the different people. When they leave the body, what will happen to them? We can understand. Based on their consciousness, they will take next birth. And this is what we call fourth regulative principle. If we eat meat, then next birth we will either become animal, or animal will kill us. Here we are eating. Here we are killing, we are eating. And there are many more things we do, the bad things. So there are few good karma and bad karma. This is a very good story I've always discussed in the past, but it's always worth doing it. So if you think about it, what these people doing? If you think, well, I've highlighted there, these are doctors, and they're operating on the patient. Patient is highlighted in the yellow. Yeah. So a man just going through the jungle, and a dacoit comes in, a bad guy, and say, I'm going to steal you. If you're not going to listen to me, then what will I do? What will I do? I will kill you. And the guy said, no, I'm not going to give you anything. And the decoy got the knife out and put the knife in the tummy of the guy, and the guy dies. That's bad karma. But now the second guy, he goes to the hospital and say, oh, my tummy is paining. And the doctor said, oh, you got appendix. I need to take appendix out of your tummy. And the doctor also put the knife in the tummy. And let's imagine the guy dies. Well, this doctor will not get any punishment because their intentions were pure. But this guy will definitely get the punishment. Right? So it's the intention, is the consciousness when we do something. So we should always think of it. Who does it? Why? When? How? There's so many examples of bad karmas. Right? And we say, if you think about it, there are many more things. We should not eat meat. We should not do gambling. We should not, this is what we say, alcohol or the bad things. Yeah? And this is something you will see later. So we should always think, remember, all these things are always sinful. And the karmic reactions, this is given in Bhagavatam. If we do bad things, the bad things will happen. Similarly, what you see on the photograph, it's not the exaggeration at all. These kind of things will happen later. Exactly this, that the boiling water we will be placed in our body, and it will be very painful. We should always be very careful what we're going to do. Very, very, very painful. See, people fight, people steal, people drink alcohol. We don't want to do it. No. Okay, let's think of this. What is this? This is another story. The way we understand the stories stay with us. And we can share the stories with each other. So we remember the stories and the lessons we learn from the stories. And that's the reason these stories are still there. Yeah. Imagine we have these big buildings, right? And we put grains in them. You might have heard of grains. Yeah. So we have grains with us. So in old age, we used to have grains. These days, what we do, we get the flour, and from the flour, we make the chapatis. Yeah. Excuse my writing. I'm trying to write from the mouse. But imagine in 2001, we got the grains. That's class 1. Beautiful grains. We are going to put them in. Let's say from the top, we'll put them in. And they will go right at the bottom. Yeah. And then in 2003, we got new. Yes. If you think about it, we got new grains there. What we'll do, we'll put the new grains there now. 2003 grains going in on the top. So this is what happens with us. Now, if you want to have the grains out in 2003, 2001 grains will come out first. They could be good, they could be bad. And this is what it looks like. That why that person is doing bad and still seems to be enjoying. Why good things happen to bad person and bad things happen to good people. Why in 2003 it's class 3 grains, but I'm getting class 1 grain in 2003? Because it's the fruit of the past karma. We have not consumed 2001 grains yet. So in 2003, if 2001 grain is still there, we are going to get that first. With the birth in this life, everything begins, and with death, everything is finished. That's wrong. Because we do get things from the past life. Okay? So if something happens with one person, that's what we call individual karma. It happened to one person. But one thing happened with multiple, we call it collective. So these days, what's happening in Corona, the whole world seems to be, that's the collective karma. In one go, all the people are getting the results. Ignorance is not an excuse. A lot of time we say, oh, I didn't know about it. Oh, sorry, I didn't know about it. Well, if we think about, if somebody is going to drive on UK roads and the camera is going to take the picture, oh, you were over speeding. We will never able to say, oh, I didn't know the speed limit was this. But it is our responsibility to know. Right? It is our responsibility to know. Ignorance is not the excuse. Good karma and bad karma do not cancel each other. That's another concept we should be very clear with. Right? So you cannot say, oh, I've done the good karma. I have done the good karma, so my bad karma people will forget about. No, no, that doesn't happen at all. And you can think of it. And there was actually an example, somebody who won Nobel Prize. After winning Nobel Prize, he did the accident and the police captured him. Now he's a Nobel Prize winner, which is great, but still, because he did bad karma, police put him in the jail or put him under the trial. So he could never say, oh, I got the Nobel Prize. Why are you catching me for my bad karma? No, for good karma, you get the good results. You got the Nobel Prize. But for the bad karma, you're going to get punished. So never do this, oh, I have done bad thing, let's do the good thing now. No, it doesn't work that way. Always, always remember that. Yeah. So this is a story of two brothers, and I'm looking at the timing now. Maybe we shall quickly go for it. Is there any question so far from anyone? A lot of things we have discussed in past, and we are just summarizing it. Okay. A lot of stories are there, which is great, because with the stories, the moral of the story is very strong, and the stories, they stay with us. We always remember for the long, and we should remind ourselves these stories again and again. So for example, there were two brothers. One was businessman and one was thief. So it was our choice. So they made the choice, what do they want to be? So this man said, I want to be businessman. And this thief said, I want to be a thief. They had the choice. They belong to the same family. And you will see, maybe your mother and mother's sister might have different environment now. Your father and father's brothers, they will be completely different. Their habits might be completely different. One could be a devotee, one could be a non-devotee. One might be drinking, one might not be drinking. So it's not, a lot of time people, they blame the circumstances. Circumstances do play the part, but the main thing is the choice we have. The choice we have. We should always think about the choice. Yeah. What kind of choice we have. We should always think about it. Again, bad karma, good karma, both are bad, it says. You know why? Why both are bad? Why good karma is also bad? Good karma is bad because we get attached with it. That binds us, right? That guy who won the Nobel Prize, now he thinks because he got Nobel Prize, he can break the law. When we do good karma, we get good results, and because of good results, we think we are something. And that's why we should do good karma, but not thinking that we are doing good karma. So we need to escape. A karma must be performed. A karma is when we do good karma. So that's karma. And that's a karma. Karma is when we do something and we expect something in return. A karma when we don't expect anything in return. And a great example is a soldier. When a soldier fights, soldier doesn't accept anything in return. Whether soldier is going to kill one person or 100 people there, soldier is doing the duty to safeguard his or her country. Soldier will never think, oh, well, I've killed 10 people, so I will get 10 medals or trophies. No, soldier is just doing his or her duty. So this is a very good concept. If you think about Kalesh, it says sinful reaction. It says Papa. This is in Bhagavad Gita. Again, the whole presentation is based on Bhagavad Gita. Papa says aprapt. We will discuss. Okay, we will discuss that. It will take a bit of time. Okay, so what that means, this is like a lot of things are hidden and not prominent, clear to us. So we have the desire to do sin inside. Maybe from the outside we are very good people. We got the tikka, we got the kurta, and somebody might look at, oh, you are Prabhu, you are very nice. But inside we always have this, what it says, the seed, the bija, that we want to do something bad. And you never know when you will do the bad. Right? It's like if we see the dirt, there's a saying, do not brush under the carpet. Because we keep brushing under the carpet. A lot of time what happens, if a carpet is there, we don't pick the carpet and clean under. We just clean rest of the floor. We just pick the carpet, lift the carpet, and just brush under the carpet. But one day when we open the carpet, we see, oh, how dirty it is. But outside is looking nice because the floor is looking clean. The carpet from the top is looking clean. Under the carpet is bad. And that's what we call bij. So something which is hidden will appear one day, and that's bad. We will discuss this in detail in Bhagavad Gita. But then there is a mention what Srila Prabhupada ji said, that there are 6 enemies of the mind. Right? And again we will see this. Right? It says kama, which is desire, kama, mad, krodha, moha, lobha, matsarya. So lust, which is desires. You have one chocolate, you want 2 more. You have one toy, you want 2. This is when we drink alcohol and we become angry. We become illusion. We are greedy, very greedy. We don't just want ours, we want others as well. And then we become envy of others. Right? This is what Srila Prabhupada ji explained to us, that in the life, we are preparing. We need to be ready to fight with these enemies. These enemies are always around. So life is a preparation and death is the examination. This is what we say, be ready for the examination. Right? Do some sadhana. And that's what we will discuss in the next session, topmost yoga system. How yoga is how we can control ourselves or engage ourselves. So these 6 enemies will not offend us. Right? We will look forward for the topmost. All right, great. It's the time now. And I look forward to see you all. And I hope there will be many more devotees here and we will have much more engagement, because most of the time I was speaking. So I know some of the devotees, they could not make it today. Summertime, the attendance goes low, and then today is a match as well. But I would like to request you to, because we are going to have the last session of this series before we will go back to Bhagavad Gita's discussions, right? Where we used to have a lot of discussions. But think about it, whatever we have discussed, and next time, please ask a lot of questions. Okay. With that, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gurudev Maharaj ki jai, Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Jai Jai Shri Radha. Hare Krishna, everyone. Take good care of yourselves, and I look forward to see you next Sunday, 6 p.m. with a lot of questions. Hare